Austin, good to see you. Today we have three strategies to retire with confidence. A recent survey by AARP found many Americans over 50 don't feel confident in their retirement savings. It used to be we could rely on a pension, but now it is our job to save and invest and then pay ourselves in retirement, but not so much that we run out of money. That's why tip number one, break out the buckets, utilize the bucket strategy. Can you explain that strategy, please?
I love the bucket strategy because it's really a simple way for us to visualize kind of how our money should be allocated or a good guide for how our money should be allocated. And really, that starts with number one is safety, right? Think of this as your emergency fund, things like checking, savings, or money market CDs. The second bucket would be income. So we know as we near retirement and get into retirement, this is perhaps the most important bucket. How is our portfolio going to generate income? This could be things like dividend paying stocks or annuities. And the last bucket here is growth. If we live a nice, long, healthy, and happy retirement, we know we need this bucket, right? We need our assets to grow. So think things like individual stocks, ETFs, sort vehicles of that nature.
Okay. Speaking of that first bucket, how much cash should we have on hand in retirement?
Yeah, I think we hear kind of in popular talk that it should be 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. But really, here at Patriot Wealth, we like to increase that a little bit, specifically for retirees, because we know our working years are behind us, right? So we don't have that income coming in anymore, which means we really want to have a bigger safety net. Typically, we recommend at least 6 months, and really, we like to see it closer to that 12 months worth of living expenses.
Okay. So, tip number two, consider semi retirement. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the number of people 75 plus who are still working is expected to grow by 96% by 2030. So, please talk through the financial and even emotional benefits of a hybrid retirement.
Yeah, Aaron, I really want to start with that second piece,
Okay.
being the emotional side of potentially doing this semi-retirement.
Yeah.
And really, we know that many of us through our employer or workplace find a lot of connection, whether it be friends or work events or social gatherings that we get to be a part of because we're still in the workforce. So I think in retirement, that can really play a big role in kind of personal fulfillment. And I think the first piece, the financial benefits, is perhaps a little bit more obvious to many of
Right.
us. The more money we have coming in, the less strain is going to be put on our portfolio. We can kind of let our assets grow for a little bit longer before we start distributing or perhaps have to distribute at a lower rate than we otherwise would.
hmm And then last, do the math. In other words, have a plan. But this can get overwhelming. Where do we start?
Yeah, we can't forget that math is a big part of this whole
Yeah.
retirement journey. But really, I think before we think about where we want to go or perhaps how we want our retirement to look like or how we're going to get there, it really starts with understanding where we currently are. How do you know where you want to go and how you're going to get there if you don't know where you're starting from? So,
Right.
really, I encourage many folks to seek out a qualified professional to really diagnose your current situation, understand your income, your expenses, your current asset base, the structure of your asset base, potential taxation, right? There's so many different layers to this thing we call retirement planning that it really, for many folks, makes sense to work with a qualified professional.
Yeah, and you know what? It is so empowering when you do that. And Austin, I think it makes you feel more in control about your finances, which is what we're talking about here. So, if somebody would like to do that with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can send us an email at info@patriotwealthnc.com or give us a call at 919-322-4113.
Great. Austin, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.